So if you've been watching any of my most recent videos on YNAB, you know that I've been covering targets, refill up to, and stuff like that, right? But today, we're going to kind of go a little bit deeper into why I chose not to fund ahead. You see, last year I was funding my very long YNAB categories, and I was funding ahead a month, right? But I was always realizing when the month rolled over that I had too much money in the category. I had to go in there and fix it. I never really could figure out what was going on with the set aside and the refill up to. And it was really just, it was becoming overwhelming, to be honest with you. It was causing a lot of friction that didn't need to exist. So this year I thought, well, what I'll do now is I will create a clean budget, have not as many categories, but I would, instead of funding ahead a month, I would create a category in what is called a holding tank to fund a month ahead. Okay. So when I did that, it really kind of, I guess you can say, relieved some stress concerning the whole process by funding or putting all my extra money after I funded this month, putting all my extra money into that next month category in the holding tank. It really helped me be able to feel more relieved, but it's going to help me really next month when the month rolls over. Because you see, some of your targets, like refill up to, are affected in a negative way when you, I guess you could say, when you put money into the next month in YNAB. So as you see here, I have YNAB opened up. And what I'm specifically talking about is this. You see, January right now, it says that I'm underfunded by $0 because I have funded the whole month. In this holding tank here, I have $328 in my next month that I've saved so far. Now, next week's paycheck is all going to go right here. When it's up here in the assigned, I'm just going to throw it right here, because this month's already funded. And the reason why I do that is because I do have a lot of refill up to things. And if you watch my last video on refill up to, if I was to say, let's take a look at groceries, for instance. I've already spent $420 on groceries so far this month. If I was not to spend any more on groceries, $179 would roll over to the next month. And refill up to says, well, if I'm refilling up to $600, it's going to take the difference next month and only fund up to $600 less the $179.45. This can be very handy instead of having one category overfilled. But if you look, and I go into next month, if you look, and I was to fund this, it says assign $600 to meet your target. Because it has no idea that you haven't spent all your money in January, because January's not over yet. It has no idea. So what I found was I want to see how it rolls with the refill up to, because I really like that option. It's a really cool option, but I don't think it's really designed with the future in mind. It's really designed for right this minute. So what I planned on doing, and I've already ran this as a test on a demo account. I've done different tests going in December and January and February and seeing how it all played out. And I've done several tests on it. And it seems to really work very well that when the month rolls over to the next month, right, when February 1st hits, I will take all of this money here, I will throw it up here to ready assign, and then I will hit the underfunded button here, and it will fund all my categories. And the refill up to, if this $179 carries over to next month, it will now take that in consideration that it is in that month and I won't have to fill up that whole category with $600, and it'll give me a more accurate picture of the money I have left over for that month that can go into the next month's funding ahead program, right? I think this will help me because before last year, it was really, 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 really tough trying to make all of this work. And then I was going in the next month, I'm like, man, what's going on? Why I got $800 in groceries when I was supposed to fill up to $600? And then I was having to move money, and I had several categories, so it really became overwhelming. And it was too much friction. It was just causing too much unneeded stress in a very stressful situation already, because last year I had, still dealing with my broken leg that I had. I had all kinds of other things going on. I didn't need that. So now that I have reduced the amount of categories I have and made them more generalistic, which actually makes me feel a lot better, I can actually, feel much better with how it works. And, I've also done things like I don't have any linked accounts now. They're all unlinked. So makes me more intentional. So every morning when I get up, I look at YNAB, look at my checking account online, look at my credit card online, see if there's anything that's posted that I might have forgot. But see, every time I make a payment now, or every time I purchase something on my credit card, I immediately put it in. Before, I didn't do that because I was waiting for the transaction to come in from the bank. So then I was reacting to money coming in and thinking I had money in the category when I didn't, because the transaction hadn't downloaded from the bank yet. And so it'll be throwing me off. Well, now it's becoming more intentional, and I'm in more control of how the money is going rather than being shocked when it went. So, but like I say, all I really wanted to show you is why I feel like using the next month holding tank is very important. Now, the next video, I'm going to go into another thing that I have down here in the financial priorities called income smoothing. And what that basically is another area where I will save about a couple months worth of income, or basically a couple months worth of expenses. So if I was to lose my job, this would help smooth that, so I wouldn't be too worried about being able to at least fund 3 months, because remember, I'm going to have money up here in my next month, and then I have 2 months down here, and so I'm not so concerned about that. When I go looking for another job or what have you, I can make that transition smoother, hence the reason why it's called income smoothing. So, we'll go into some of my other categories, but basically that is what I wanted to show y'all in this video. Now, if you like these kind of videos and you want to see more of these in the near future, make sure that you like and subscribe to these videos. It helps the algorithm get them out to more and more people, and I really would appreciate if you would do that. With that being said, though, I do want to wish y'all a wonderful week, and I will catch you in the next episode. Take care. Bye.